In this lesson, we're going to look at how to write linear equations in slope-intercept form. So example 1, write an equation given the slope and the y-intercept. Well, first of all, let's go back to what we know about writing something in slope-intercept form. Remember, it's y is equal to the mx plus b, where the m is our slope and the b is our y-intercept. All right, so now let's go ahead and take the information that we have so that we can write an equation with this given information. So if I've got a slope of -2 and I've got a y-intercept of 5, I'm going to have y is equal to mx plus b, and the m being the -2, the slope, and don't forget your x, and then your y-intercept is a +5, so I'm going to have a +5. And so the equation given this information is y is equal to -2x plus 5. In the next example, again, we're going back to the y is equal to mx plus b. Y is equal to, I've got a slope of 8, and I've got my x. And now I've got a y-intercept of a -7, so I'm going to write down a -7 for my y-intercept. And for our last example there, y is equal to, well, my slope is 3/4, so I've got my 3/4 x, and then my y-intercept is a -3, so again I'm going to put a -3. Example 2, write an equation of the line shown. All right, so let's go ahead and go back to what we know about our line and the parts. So slope-intercept form is y is equal to mx plus b, where the m, remember, is our slope, and our b is our y-intercept. Okay, so now the first step then is to calculate the slope. So what we need to find is we need both the slope and we need the y-intercept, and we can get that from all of our lines. So our slope, m, let's calculate our slope. Since it's a picture or a drawing, let's go ahead and do rise all over run. 1, 2, 3. So I went up 3, and then I'm going to go a -2. So I'm just going to say that that's a -3 over 2 slope. All right. My y-intercept, remember the intercept is where it crosses the y-axis. Well, here's my y-axis, and it is crossing that y-axis at the 2. So my y-intercept, oops, is equal to 2. So now knowing that, we should be able to write our equation. Y is equal to -3 all over 2x, because that's the slope, plus 2 because that's the y-intercept. All right, let's try it with the other ones. All right, so let's find we need our slope and we need our y-intercept. All right, so let's go ahead and find our slope. I'm going to go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I went up 6. And I went to the right 2. So 6 all over 2, which is going to give me a slope of +3. And my y-intercept, let's see where it's crossing the y. The y is crossing at the 0, -2. So my y-intercept is right here. It's a -2. All right, so given that, let's go ahead and write our equation. I would have y is equal to then 3x minus 2. All right, our next one. I've got our slope I'm going to be looking for, and our y-intercept. Okay, so our slope, let's go ahead and I'm going to count up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I went up 8, and I went a -2, giving me a -4 slope. And my y-intercept, it's not really marked on here, but we can find it. Our y-intercept is right here, crossing at the 1. So my y-intercept is 1. So now let's go ahead and write our equation. y is equal to negative 4x plus, because it was a positive 1, plus 1. All right, and for our last one then, again, we're going to find the slope and the y-intercept. Okay, so our slope, we're going to go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We went up 5, and then we went a positive 1, so that's this positive 5 slope, and our y-intercept is at 0, 4, so the y-intercept is at 4. So to write this equation, I would have y is equal to 5x plus 4. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at how to write an equation given 2 points. First of all, let's go back to our equation in y-intercept form. Y is equal to mx plus b, and again, remember, m is the slope, and the b is the y-intercept. So we're going to be looking for those 2 parts in order to write our equation. So let's start out with, then, I'm going to want to know my slope, and I'll need to know my y-intercept. Okay, let's start out with our slope. Because I have 2 points, let's use the formula. M is equal to y of 2 minus y of 1 all over x of 2 minus x of 1. All right, so I'm going to take my negative 1 minus 4, and then I'm going to take my 0 minus 10. All right, so negative 1 minus 4 gives me a negative 5, and a 0 minus 10 gives me a negative 10. So then, if I simplify that, these 2 negatives are going to cancel or make a positive, and I'm going to have 5 all over 10. Well, then 5 all over 10 can be simplified down to 1/2. All right, so my slope is 1/2. Now our y-intercept. Well, let's think about where the y-intercept is. Remember on a graph, if I were to draw this graph, I would have my 10, 4. I'd go all the way over 10 and I'd up 4. And then this one right here, I would have my point is at 0, negative 1. All right. So it's crossing the y-intercept at the negative 1. Remember, when x is 0, the number that goes with it, that is going to be your y-intercept, because x is 0 and I'm going to be on the y at a negative 1. So my y-intercept is going to be negative 1. So my equation for this line is y is equal to 1/2 x minus 1. All right, let's take a look at the next one. I need my slope and I need my y-intercept. All right, so my slope, I'm going to take negative 1 minus 8. Just took this minus this, and I'm going to take 5 minus 0. All right, so negative 1 minus 8 is going to be negative 9 all over 5. And so let's write that here. Oops. Negative 9 all over 5. My y-intercept, well, let's go back and look here. Let's look for the one. If I have a point that has a 0, oops, I'm not going to be able to erase that. If I have a point that has the 0 for the x, my y-intercept is going to be the positive 8. All right, so now my equation is going to be y is equal to negative 9 all over 5x plus 8. All right, and our last one here, again, we're looking for the slope and the y-intercept. All right, so let's find our slope first. Negative 14 minus 8, minus negative 8. Negative 14 minus negative 8. And that's going to be all over 0 minus 6. All right, so these become a plus. So I'm going to have a negative 6 all over 0 minus 6 is negative 6. And negative 6 divided by negative 6 is positive 1. So my slope is going to be a positive 1. My y-intercept, again, I'm going to look for the number that is with x being 0. And so mine is going to be negative 14. So I'm going to have y is equal to 1x, or just x, minus 14. either way is fine. I could write it like this too. All right, so in this lesson we took a look at how you could write equations given the slope and the y-intercept.